All right, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. Appreciate it. Thank you. Trying to get everything ready, of course, at the last possible minute. I was like, oh, I got 20 minutes. Let me, get ready. I get ready. Run into bullshit problem with a fucking app. RNN by RNN. Sorry. Let's see. Sarita, Props, Let's Go, Flown Grown, Jeep Dog, Tia, Cowboy, WTC, again, Maria Jackson, Brian, Susie, thank you for the 5x5. Comet Moon, Sunny Days, thank you for the 5x5. Water Tiger, 5x5. Sorry if the audio is acting up on your side. Joseph, F you all, Alicia, thank you for 5x5. Scott, Mike, Mitch, Little John, Incognito, Scott, thank you for the 5x5. Good night. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the mic system, but it seemed to be switching back and forth for a little bit. Who Flung, thank you for the 5x5. Incognito, Colleen, thank you for the 5x5. Check that 5x5, then I can't see here, Jack. Yeah, it's one of those days. So, I went deaf. Hopefully, it's all squared away now. Yeah, so listen, Amazon, man, Amazon, excuse me, YouTube, man, they're on some bullshit. I was looking at my subscriber count, right? So obviously, for whatever reason, my subscriber count keeps dropping. Now, it's probably dropping because, I don't know, people are not interested anymore, my content sucks. I don't know. But I did see a discrepancy with one day. It was, I think, last week. I went up 30 subscribers, and the next day was March 17th. I went up 30 subscribers. March 18th, lost 30 subscribers. I'm like, so that was a bit of a red flag. I know that a lot of you guys have been stating for the last few years that you've been unsubscribed to my channel, but it's every day now. I'm dropping 5 here, 6 there, 8 there. I go up 2, down fucking 3. It's bizarre. There's no consistency, right? As to why I'm losing subscribers. But the 30-day going up and then the 30-day dropping 30 the next day, that was a lot. That was a bit of a red flag, and that was too much of a coincidence. Definitely a YouTube thing going on lately. Yeah, I guess. I've been hearing a lot of YouTubers complaining about like loss in pay. They saw a dramatic dip in their pay. And we're talking about YouTubers that are like way more established than I am, in different tiers or niches, if you will. So YouTube is on some bullshit. I don't know what it is, but it looks like YouTube's not gonna be able to sustain a lot of people for long. There are people like Mr. Beast. If YouTube disappeared tomorrow, he'd be fine. That kid Ninja, he'd be fine. Other YouTubers who this is their sole, bread and butter kind of deal. Not so much, you know. Yeah, but that is one hell of a glitch. And the Rooster says I unsubscribed all the time. Yeah, yeah. Something's not. And then on top of that, the notification system doesn't work. People don't get notified. I've been getting notifications for the last couple of weeks now. They had to fix something because I wasn't getting any at all. J Bone said I had to subscribe again. Yeah, it's bananas. Giving warnings that he's coming on. What gives? That OTS coming on. I don't know what that means. I've unsubscribed from this fear mongering channel at least 2 times now, but I keep getting warnings that OTS coming. I don't know what the hell OTS is. I have no clue what the fuck that is. Your firehouse could be scaring trans and gay men, probably. Yeah, it's weird. It's just a weird thing, you know. And again, other YouTubers complain about the one YouTuber. I forgot his name, Magnus something or another. He took a huge hit in pay. He did a video on it. A couple of YouTubers did videos on it. How they took it. I'm like, yo, you can't. This can't be your bread and butter. This cannot. It like you start making money, you got to start investing it. If you're gonna develop a YouTube channel, create a YouTube channel, you definitely guys have to start squirreling money away and investing. This cannot be your end all be all. It just can't. Um, but yeah, it's a bizarre when people like this is it for them. You know, I know what the hell was her name? One of the prepper channels on here, Autumn Backyard Garden. When she lost her channel, she was the breadwinner for her family with the Autumn Backyard Garden channel, and then the fucking channel disappeared. You know, and I haven't heard from her in a while, so I don't know what she's up to. But again, that was another one. Like you can't make this cannot be, and if you're gonna do that, come up with another channel. You know. Yeah, I lost several channels. It's time to move. United House of Polaris, excuse me, says that his channel's been taken down a couple times. I lost several channels. It's time to move. Yeah. Hudson Valley 10-4. The crack house chair's in the other room. I got rid of that shit. Yes. Sarita's saying you should have a separate site from YouTube. You should, but listen. I got multiple channels, and I'm working on building another business. So, and then I have my main job. So even if this collapsed tomorrow, I would be okay. This helps out a lot, though. Don't get me wrong, but I would definitely pivot. I can definitely pivot. But you have to know that this Caribbean House. I know she has another channel, but I haven't seen it like at all. And I thought I was subscribed to it, but maybe I'm not. I don't know. I know she had another channel, but like when you lose a channel like that, like you're making a certain amount of money a month, and then it disappears, you got to rebuild that again. Now, I got lucky when my original channel got deleted, and then I had to recreate a channel again, recreate this channel again. I got lucky during that whole process, and I like tripled the amount of people from the last time. So it wasn't, you know. But yeah, Scott Rush. I guess you're answering for somebody. Yeah, photography business. I'm definitely switching over to that. Autumn Backyard is now ABH prepping. Okay, very good. Very good. ABG prepping. All right. Right, and I think I was subscribed to that channel, but I haven't seen anything. I mean, if she's still going, great. Angry lesbians. But yeah, man, it's a bizarre thing that to have people just like solely fixed on this shit. Like there are people who only have TikTok, right? So when TikTok, I do not do feet pics. When TikTok was thought to go belly up, the TikTokers were crying and screaming like, "This is my only income." You got to have more than one income. That is like, this is how you make money in the world, right? You have to have multiple sources of income. Like you might have to have one or two channels so that you're all right. Like if this channel disappeared and the Angry Truth was still it, I would still make some money off that channel. I'm currently trying to make channel money off the fitness channel, but I was supposed to do a morning, I might do an Angry Prepper Fitness tomorrow morning. Because I was supposed to do it Sunday, but I had to pick up the overtime. Overtime comes before anything else, right? It helps out with my pension when I retire. I got 5 more years. I got to bang it out. But so whenever overtime pops up, like if overtime would have popped up tonight, we would not be talking tonight, you know. So yeah, I won't leave New York City. Not New York City, but I won't leave until I get my. I got 5 more years now, and then I'm out of here. But if I do, if I do the Angry Prepper Fitness tomorrow morning, there's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about, and one of the things is getting your energy back to work out. And it's like two simple moves to do so. Yes, I do use drones for photography, but that's like for landscape. Like that's really what you're going to use a photography for, a drone for, is landscape photography. Or you can have like like a person or a model on a cliff, and then you could take pictures of them on a cliff with a drone, because the drone I have is like really good with the camera. But that's about it. I normally use it for landscape photography. I'm like, what is that? It's rain. They said it wasn't gonna rain, and now I hear rain on my window, and I'm like, the fuck is going on? Do you like boxing? Tiffany, I have been. I was joined. I rejoined with the boxing team for the FDNY, but then that bullshit happened to me, and so I stopped. Right, I stopped. But yes, I do like getting into it. I'm even contemplating jumping in the ring, which is probably against my better judgment, but nonetheless. And getting in the ring to spar, not to actually fight. I'm too old for that bullshit. I have to save what little energy and beatings I can give out to like the streets. I can't afford to jump in the ring and actually go after somebody. Go after another 40-year-old. That's dumb. You know? You got to reserve to like when you get into it in the streets. You will never leave New York. You will regret it. Charles, I'm regretting it now. Don't get me wrong. I hate this fucking city. And again, for one reason alone. Being that right now I'm turning this apartment into a photo studio, that's where it is. So I'm not going to pay for a studio somewhere else outside of New York when I have a studio here. All right? 5 more years and it's pickleball for you. Pretty much. But yeah, so anyway, guys, you have a very faint echo. So I'm not going to pay for a studio somewhere else. The echo might be because I'm in this room. It could be that. But yeah, if that's what you're hearing, it's because I'm in this room. There's no furniture in this room. I mean, there's the backdrop here and a pull-up bar workout machine here. And then everything else is photography equipment. So there's no real room to soak up the sound. But yeah, you stuck with us, Jason. Yeah, but I know that listen, there are people who are disappointed I haven't left yet. I understand. I'm disappointed. But I'm going to make this studio shit work, make some money, and then hopefully get the fuck out of here. Not hopefully. I will be out of here come hella high water when I retire. And again, looking strongly into Tennessee, or was looking strongly into Tennessee. And then I noticed that the Tennessee housing market like skyrocketed last year. I mean, through the roof. I'm like, what the fuck? So I gotta find another little hidey hole that I can move to, Dickleball, nice one. I'm getting like flood warnings and shit now. I was gonna go for a walk, but I guess not. I'm gonna get washed away. All right, enough of that bullshit. Let's talk about what's really going on. So now I'm gonna talk about. Tonight on the Angry Truth channel, we're going to talk about how you're going to be jobless soon and the 50 jobs that are going to disappear in the next 10 years. Probably a lot sooner than that, but there's more like 100 jobs that are going to disappear, or 75 jobs. We're going to talk about 50 of them tonight on the Angry Truth channel. You're going to be surprised. Now, the article, when I went over some of these, they were stretching a bit on some of the industries that are going to be taken over by AI. It was a far stretch, but nonetheless, we're going to go over that list later tonight on the Angry Truth channel. As far as tonight goes, there's a lot going on, and a lot of things can change in the matter of minutes, if not seconds. We have the possible bombing of Iran, the talk of taking over Greenland, which is not going to happen. I know a lot of people sitting there going, Trump's talking all that shit about taking over Greenland. It isn't going to happen. Denmark is not going to allow for it. Russia is not going to allow for it. The people who live in Greenland, the 8 people who live there, they're not going to fucking allow it. So it's not going to happen. It would have to be a hostile takeover. And that is just not in the United States budget right now. Photograph NYC first responder coffee table book. That, Aston, I was thinking about that. I was like, I was seriously thinking about it. All cops, EMTs, and firefighters. It's a good idea. But I was watching somebody else do it, and I was like, I think I could get away with that, but we'll see. We'll see. I know some stories, if you do that, you have to have a backstory to some of these photos, but we'll see. They only got 40,000 population. Again, it doesn't matter if they have 40,000 or 8. It's not going to happen. I don't like, and the Canadian thing. He was joking about that, and people took that shit seriously. I'm like, I would hope he was joking about it, because that would be stupid to be thinking seriously to take over Canada or to have Canada. Canada is not going to do that. That was just. If he's serious about it, he's got to be suffering from dementia. If he was joking about it, that I understand. But I took it as a joke. Some people took the shit seriously. There's no way Canada's going to be... And it's not going to be a 51st state, guys. It doesn't work that way. It would be a territory of the United States. It cannot become a state. Greenland cannot become a state. It's too fucking big. It would be a territory. Right? But anyway, again, not going to get into all the hoopla about fucking Greenland. We're going to talk about that right now. But as far as the political aspects, we're not going to get into it. But we are going to talk about, again, the possible bombing of Iran, which, if that happens, shit's going to escalate very, very fast. Very fast. Yes, like Puerto Rico. That's what Greenland would be like. And then like Puerto Ricans do not want to be the 51st state either. They don't want to be part of the United States in that regard. But they want United States help when they get hit by a hurricane. Go figure. Jeff, yes, Trump is talking about a third term. That's not going to happen. That can't. It's already... He said that there's a loophole. I'm dying to hear what this loophole is. That's not going to happen either. I mean, if he does good these 4 years, could he handle another 4? That's the bigger problem. Picture. Could he handle another 4 years? He is barely going to be hanging on to this 4 years. I mean, he looks fairly healthy. He's not as bad as Biden. Biden was bad. Biden was bad when he walked into the office on his first day. You were like, this dude's going to die before his 4 years. And he didn't. But he bowed out gracefully in his last couple of months. Could Trump handle another 4 years? Again, that's going to be the bigger question. And only he's going to know that at the end of this term, or at the very least in his third year, he's going to make a decision whether or not he can run again. I don't think he'll be able to run. He shouldn't run for another 4. Only president's going to do 2 terms. This is not the time to circumvent or do any bullshit or underhanded nonsense. Patriot Son said it was joking, nothing more. All right, because I mean, like, a lot of people took it seriously. Patty said, I visited Puerto Rico last week. Beautiful weather. Puerto Rico's a nice place. It's a very nice place. Right now, what is it? Rincon? Something Rincon. Damn it, I can't remember. My buddy has a bar there. They're protesting hard over there right now. They're going after it over there. Rincon, that's the name of it, in Puerto Rico. It's on the western side of Puerto Rico. It's on the western side of Puerto Rico. It's by the beach. But yeah, my buddy who was a firefighter, not a buddy, but I worked with him. I bounced to him in Long Beach at a place close to the beach house. He opened up a bar in Puerto Rico. He's in Rincon right now. I don't think he has the bar there anymore, but when he had the bar there, the locals were pissed with him and just some of the antics that were going on there, right? And so, with that, they're building hotels in the same area, and the locals are fighting tooth and nail to stop it. I just so happened to see an article on it, and I was thinking of him, He's not eligible to be Vance's vice president after running 2 terms. Right. Again, Jason, and somehow he said there was a loophole. I'm dying to hear what that fucking loophole is. Nobody wants a Cabbage Patch doll for president. Brian, he's a surfer. That's why he's in Rincon. Interesting you brought that up, but he's a surfer. He was a professional surfer for a little bit too. Uh, Not gonna put his name out here, but if I spoke to him and I said, and he gives me permission to mention his name, I'll mention his name. But he was a professional surfer for a long while. So it's interesting that you brought that up. All right. So anyway, guys, Trump has an option to acquire Greenland, but few are realistic. Experts state. Experts hate Trump, by the way. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of Trump, but like everything Trump does, people just they're all over him for fucking every little thing he does. So anyway, the Trump administration remains steadfast in acquiring Greenland despite the island's leaders refusing to give up as Vice President Vance and Second Lady Yusha Vance traveled to the country on Friday. That was last week. We need Greenland as a national security and international security. So I think, we'll go as far as to say we have to go. I don't know what the fuck that means. We'll go as far as we have to go. Excuse me. Donald Trump told reporters Wednesday. Vance has touted Greenland's incredible natural resources in speeches that called for the territory's acquisition for its rich in gold, copper, and rare earth minerals. Now, Africa has a ton of rare earth minerals. A ton. A lot of people are avoiding Africa. And I think Africa probably even have metals that haven't been identified yet because it's such a big fucking continent. And with all of the warring and shit going on, people avoid it. But they want to go to Greenland for its rare earth metals when Africa has the most rare earth metals. Nobody wants to go there. And it's funny, I forgot. Maybe it was Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe doesn't exist anymore. I forgot what the country is called now, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is Zimbabwe another country? But yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of yeah. Zimbabwe's still around. Excuse me. Africa has so many fucking country changes. It's fucking bizarre. But I think Zimbabwe was one of the countries that had like a lot of metals there as well. There was a lot of talk about it. And then there was also the Congo, right? The Democratic Republic of Congo also has a lot of rare metals there as well. Yes, Congo. Thank you. And so, anyway, nobody wants to deal with those countries. To go into those countries, you have to fight. Talk about mercenary. Yeah. Yeah, Mobutu is gonna get kicked out of fucking that country too. But anyway, let's see where the fuck were we? Trump's ambitions aren't far-fetched, according to an international relations expert who told ABC News that there are some avenues in which the U.S. could realistically acquire the autonomous Danish territory. Autonomous, excuse me. I don't know why I keep saying that. Last time I had this problem, I was like, autonomous. Anyway, however, international policies, laws, and decade-long economic and political partnership makes Trump's wishes extremely improbable, according to Phillips Lipsey, a professor of political science at the University of Toronto. Toronto's in Canada. Canada hates him, so go figure that. That's interesting. However, this kind of rhetoric has been part of the U.S. foreign policy making since World War II. If the United States moves forward with this would be a game changer, and it would piss off Russia. So I don't know if anybody's worried about Russia. I mean, I'm never worried about Russia, but there are people who, think that Russia would set it off if we purchase it or move on it. Now, I think we would purchase it. I don't think we would make a move. I don't think we would go to war over this. I think we would put them in a tight spot that would force Denmark to give up Greenland. But I don't know what avenue that would be and what that would look like. Yugoslavia, Russian casinos. Guess there's a thunderstorm coming. You guys might hear it in the background a little bit. Jeff, I heard about the May 7 driver's license bullshit. They were pushing that for a while. I have a feeling they're going to have to push that back again. Ain't nobody trying to hear that bullshit. No one want to fucking deal with that nonsense. But anyway, let's go. Lipsy noted that while acquiring Greenland would bolster the U.S. security in the Arctic Circle, such a move such a move is not needed because of NATO's nation's strong military and naval presence. Annexation is not new in the U.S. history, going back to the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, when the U.S. acquired a majority portion of what is now central part of the country was acquired in a deal with France. The last time the U.S. was given land that became territory was when it acquired the 3 Pacific Islands as part of the post-World War II agreement with the United Nations in 1947, known as the Trust Territory of the Pacific Island. The deal took years of negotiating, and an agreement formed several nations who worked out a geopolitical landscape of the post-war Oceania. Only one of those island groups, Mariana Islands, remains a U.S. territory. Only one of the 3 islands, Marianas Island, remains the U.S. territory. So I'm going to put a link so that you guys can read the rest of this article. But this, again, they said there are loopholes on how he can do so. I don't see it, man. I don't see it happening anytime soon. I mean, he would have to make this deal go on for the next couple of years, and the incoming president, whoever that is, would have to agree to this. I don't see it happening. Good as Guam. Nice. Greenland government and its residents have loudly protested Trump since he began talking about acquiring it in December. He floated the idea early in his first term in 2019, but didn't pursue it. Greenland belongs to Greenlanders. We are not Americans. We are not Danes because we are Greenlanders. This is what the Americans and the leaders need to understand. I don't know why they're addressing this to Americans. I don't give a fuck if we acquire this or not. The national security bullshit sounds like bullshit to me. But it just sounds like another excuse for them to fucking, a foothold in something. This is what Americans and the leaders need to understand. We cannot be bought and we cannot be ignored. Greenland's Prime Minister, mute somebody, said in a Facebook post earlier this year. Listen, politicians need to stop this shit. They need to address the people in a conference, not on Twitter, not in Facebook, apparently. He made this green. I don't give a fuck. The United States gets Greenland, good. What does that mean? That means nothing to us. That means nothing to the American people. It's not a vacation spot. It's not going to boost tourism. We're not all of a sudden going to want to go to fucking Greenland. So them acquiring Greenland has nothing to do with the American people at all. And as far as it being a national security spot, I think it's bullshit. I think something else is there. Something else is undoubtedly there. But it isn't fucking the rare metals that they're talking about. Chuck Norris said there are about 5,000 Eskimos that living there. Again, okay, don't give a shit. It is a non-whatchamacallit for us. It doesn't do anything for us, like at all, not even a little bit. Give me a second. Yeah, I was watching the lightning storm in Jersey about an hour before this came on. And now it's picking up. I said I was going to go for a walk, but I don't know. All right, next article. Trump threatens to bomb Iran unless they end nuclear weapons program and begins talks on a new deal. Now, I don't see Iran backing down on this one. I think Iran has the God bless of Russia and China. Could this lead to something? Absolutely. I put the article link in the chat. So if you can see it, great. Yeah, Suze, if I'm not mistaken, Greenland has a military bunker there for nuclear fallout, nuclear disaster. It's already there. So again, I'm not sure, like, are they trying to make it a territory to make it easier for people to come there? I don't know. Do they want to build more underground bunkers there for Americans? I'm not sure. And if they do, that means is something coming, right? I don't know. Phone grown. Am I going to show you the view from my window? No, not yet. I mean, it's dark out. You can't see anything anyway. It's just lightning. And a whole lot of rain. Jeff says the second aircraft carrier moved to the Black Sea. Maybe the uber rich. Yeah, probably. It's always fucking something, man. Every time Trump scratches his dick the wrong way, they report it. Everything is Trump, 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 Trump. These people are just like, all over his fucking nutsack. But anyway, President Donald Trump's overtures via a letter to the Islamic Republic of Iran Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, whatever the fuck his name is, to jumpstart talks on dismantling Tehran's illicit nuclear program were met with rejections by the theocratic state on Sunday, this past Sunday, following Trump's latest threat to the regime. Trump told NBC on Saturday that if they do not make a deal, we will be bombing. But there was a chance that if they don't make a deal, that I will do secondary tariffs on them like I did 4 years ago. Trump added the U.S. and officials from the Islamic Republic are talking. Iran's President Mossad, whatever the hell his last name is, said on Sunday, we don't avoid talks. We don't avoid talks. It's the breach of promise that has caused issues for us so far, according to Associated Press. He added, they must prove that they can build trust. The White House did not immediately respond to Iran's rejection of the talks. Mossad, I think his last name is Pezeshkian, still noted that Iran's response to the letter that indirect negotiations with Trump administrations were still possible. The apparent return to Iran's regime to its standard playbook of OPEC indirect talks between the U.S. and Tehran rulers raised questions about whether Trump would greenlight military strikes to eradicate Iran's vast nuclear weapon program. They've been working on this nuclear program for a bunch of years. I don't understand how it didn't get started yet. Yeah, I don't see Iran backing down from this. I do see them talking to the United States. I don't see them backing down from this. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. After Iran launched 2 massive missile attacks and drone attacks on Israel last year, Trump could also aid the Jewish state in knocking out Iran's nuclear weapon apparatus. Indirect talks between the U.S. and the world's worst state sponsor of terrorism, according to the Democratic and Republican administration, they have not compelled Iran to abandon its pursuit to nuclear weapons. All right. So again, here's the rub with that. If they start bombing Iran, which it would be interesting to see. Like, one part of me wants to see where this goes. The other part of me knows where this is going to go. And that part of me knows that Russia will step in, and maybe even China. Now, those two have been very quiet in regards to Trump making that statement. Nothing has been said so far from either side, from either Russia or China. So that's a good thing. Iran could be on their own, and if they are on their own, the only thing we would have to deal with would be maybe North Korea opening their mouth and defending Iran. That is the curveball. North Korea has been looking to step in and play and show their muscle, so there could be that. Iran has a defense treaty with Russia and China, 2025 and 2021, respectively. Matthews, thank you for bringing that up. But again, I haven't heard anything from Russia and China. So, I mean, unless they're staying quiet on purpose, that's a good thing, I guess. No more American blood for foreign interest. I don't know why this game is being played so hard from everyone. Everyone wants to jump in and grab more land than it's worth. It's a bizarre thing to me in this day and age. Like in this day and age, maybe when the world was developing, I saw why conquering land, was. But we're in 2025. Everybody should have their little piece of the pie, and that's it, and fall back. But I guess it doesn't work that way. We don't want to join America FFS, for fuck's sakes, Canada. No, and that's why I don't understand why Trump would. I mean, again, it was a joke, but a lot of people took it seriously. I think even some Canadians took it seriously. I was like, he's got to be joking, and then I'm reading some comments. I'm like, I said, is he joking? Because some of the comments were pretty convincing. Anyway, Iran is enriching uranium to 60%, just shy of the 90% weapon grade. Experts say that it could have a nuclear weapon within weeks if it were to take a final step to building one. Fox News digital reporter in late March that Iran's regime has enriched enough uranium to manufacture 6 nuclear weapons, according to the United Nations Atomic Agency report. Trump promised that bad things would happen to Iran if the regime does not come to the table for nuclear negotiations. My big preference is that we work it out with Iran, but if we don't work it out, bad things are going to happen to Iran. Again, he's throwing these threats out. So, listen, this could only get more interesting. Do I see a full-blown Third World War starting out if, again, Russia and China jumps in? Scott Rush, Iran can't be allowed to have nuclear weapons. You're right, but it's also their country. Again, everybody has a nuclear weapon. I don't think Iran would be irresponsible either. I think they just want to be a part of the process. What is that, Jerome? You should read your soon chat, not internet news. Room, okay. You should read your room chat, not your internet news. I was like, what the fuck does soon mean? Anyway, excuse me. Again, listen, I read this shit because a lot of this stuff I don't wholeheartedly believe. I think, guys, that a lot of this shit, there's way more going on than what we're being told. Any given time of the day. Again, being in New York City, watching certain things happen, being an EMT and a firefighter, watching certain shit go down, and then hearing the truth about it. I always bring up Sean Bell. Sean Bell was the one city cover-up that I've ever seen. Sean Bell was a known drug dealer in New York City. He was out of Queens. And he was a big-time drug dealer. Now, did I know he was a drug dealer? No. But when you talk to cops, they knew he was a drug dealer. The big-time drug dealer. Guy was going to get married, had a bachelor party. Goes to a strip club, which was in Queens, or a club in Queens. There might have been strippers there. But anyway, he gets shot up, and all of a sudden, it's an innocent black man that was shot by the cops. Sean Bell was the furthest thing from innocent black man. The furthest thing. So, of course, for whatever reason, that current administration was covering up Sean Bell being a drug dealer and made him an innocent black Negro. In fact, they did a street naming for a drug dealer. And the cop who was investigating the shooting, I just so happened to talk to him a couple years later. We were at a CrossFit conference kind of deal. We were getting our level 2 license. I was a licensed fitness CrossFit coach, right? But never got a coaching job. One of those guys. So anyway, we're talking about it as we're getting our class 2 or grade 2, whatever it was. And he tells me the whole ins and out. He told me how the investigation was going and why they deviated from throwing him under the bus. There was a political play, and they wanted to protect Sean Bell. And I think Sean Bell, being a drug dealer, he went up the ranks in NYPD, meaning he knew a lot of cops in NYPD and he knew a lot of cops in Queens. And so that shit got buried. He became an innocent man. And anyway, my point is the media lies to us. So when you read this shit, there's more to it than that. 60% is not just shy of 90%. That right there tells you that who's ever reporting this is trying to make this a little more doomier and gloomier than it really is. 60% is a long way off when you're enriching uranium. It takes a while to enrich uranium to 90% and over. So 60% is not shy of it. 60% is pretty far fucking off. Shy of it would be 85 and above. Not fucking 60%. Anyway. He said, no, brothers are 100% innocent. Yeah, so anyway. Again, it's got to be the empty room, but I don't hear the echo on my my iPad. Someone said Taiwan has activated their missile systems now. We got to see where this goes. If China, listen, with everything happening, China's definitely going to make a move within the next couple of years on Taiwan. That's without a doubt. I won't be surprised, like at all. None of this is surprising me. The only thing that can surprise me right now is an alien invasion. And even then, that's not surprising me. What would surprise me if 60-foot Rosie O'Donnells came off those fucking spaceships. Or just regular-sized Rosie O'Donnells. Nude and shit, talking about, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. That would surprise me. Anything else? No, not at all. Rob says it's raining here mucho. Yeah, it's raining here too, like a lot. But it is what it is. I mean, I think we needed it, right? It hasn't rained it rained last week. Turn it to glass. Start taking your iodine. Yeah, start loading up in your iodine now. So anyway, Iran has upped the ante ever since Trump told Fox Business he sent a letter to Khamenei and Iran has disclosed video footage of its underground missile city. Underground missile city. Trump told Fox Business, I would rather negotiate a deal. Obviously, because you know where this goes. This could just lead to war. That's the bottom of it. This could definitely lead to war. We can definitely start seeing the beginning of a third world war. Because other nations are going to jump in on this as well. Though, there has been no other nations that has replied to the threat. And I don't think Iran replied to the threat either. They just said what they said about enriching uranium and building their nuclear program. Trump made a threat, and then I haven't heard anything since. I haven't even found anything on the internet stating that they were going to retaliate if that happens. So, listen, they could be lying to us. Iran definitely has nuclear weapons. That's without a doubt. They're saying that they're worried about their nuclear program going online. They have to have it already. They also have a spy. That's the other thing. No one's mentioning that. All right, guys. So all of this is going on right now. You got Donald Trump talking about purchasing Greenland or taking Greenland or whatever the fuck he wants to do with Greenland, which is not going to happen. You have Putin that stated and was pissed and retaliated with saying that's not going to happen. U.S. is not going to get Greenland and that they're going to intervene if they do so. Putin said that last week or a couple of days ago, So that pissed off Putin. Then Trump turned around and go, I'm pissed off with Putin. So there's definitely some third World War III-ish kind of shit going on here. And then you got him talking about bombing Iran if they greenlight their nuclear weapons program. So yeah, okay, this is another part from the news. While Trump's Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, testified on Tuesday before the Senate Intelligence Committee that the intelligence community continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader of Iran has not authorized a nuclear weapons program. He suspended it back in 2023. She did not note that Iran increased its enriched uranium stockpile. Interesting. That's an interesting tidbit of information there. This is all despite President Trump's consistent and strong record of rejecting the JCPOA framework. It reflects desperate in Tehran and desire to buy time with another failed diplomatic gambit. But it's important to have eyes wide open as to the games Iran will and are already playing. She already said that they're not building a nuclear weapons program, but they definitely, without a doubt, have nuclear weapons stockpile. That's without a doubt. Again, when a country says they're building nuclear capabilities, assume they already have it. Don't sit there, because this will lie to us. The media will lie to us 100% of the time. Gabbard is a turncoat. Good to know. The people of Greenland want to leave Denmark. I'm hearing two sides of that. I'm hearing that the people of Greenland want to stay with Denmark, and then I'm hearing what you just said. Who knows? It's the same thing with Puerto Rico. You had Puerto Ricans saying they wanted to become the 51st state. Then you had a lot of Puerto Ricans saying they wanted nothing to do with becoming the 51st state. So you're always going to have that tug-of-war battle when it comes to shit like that. It's the same thing with when Russia took over that city or whatever it was and stated that the people in the city overwhelmingly wanted to be a part of Russia and came out with those fake stats. And then it turns out a lot of those people wanted nothing to do with becoming a part of Russia again because they know what it meant. As one person said, they know what it meant to be part of Russia again. Listen, guys, we're always going to get lied to. That's the problem. Even when I read this shit, I'm skeptical of it. I'm like, yeah, right, dude. Fuck out of here. There's no way it's that simple and straightforward. But I read this so that you guys can also read between the lines. Because that's what this is. Reading between the fucking lines. Was it Crimea? Yeah, right? Was that the area? Oh no. Another weirdo in the mix. So Puerto Rico have to pay down some debt. Oh, whoopee, 8 cents. Nice. Anyway. Alright, so now the EU is urging its citizens to stockpile 72 hours worth of supplies amid war risk. Here's the problem I have with these stupid articles and these stupid idiots with their stupid fucking suggestions. You cannot tell your people to get 72 hours of supplies. What the hell are you thinking? Where do you think that's going to go? 3 days worth of supplies is nothing if war breaks out. And if war that bad breaks out, 72 hours is just going to give them 3 days, maybe if they're smart, 4 to 5 days worth of survival. I don't understand that shit. It's interesting, he said, don't call me a weirdo. How did you even know I was talking about you? No, 3 days is comical. And that's and again, I don't understand that. Like, what was it? France said the same shit, 3 days. I'm like, what are you going to do with 3 days? When shit is breaking, when shit is falling apart, it takes about 3 days to a week for everybody to get the situation under control, whatever that situation might be. If the situation's really bad, it's longer than 3 days. It's probably 2 weeks to a month. 3 days, it's like you're hoping everything dies down and shit gets back on track. All right, so quick update. Let's see if I can pull it up. Taiwan detects 19 Chinese warships, Shandong Aircraft Group, around the island. This just came out by breaking news. Also, Russia has an outbreak of some kind of virus that's giving people severe coughing and bleeding when they cough. Now, the bleeding when they cough could be the capillaries in their throat breaking when they're coughing too hard. So I wouldn't take that. I saw that the other day. I was like, oh, okay. They got a strange virus going around, and most people are recovering, and some people need hospitalization to recover, but no one passed away from it yet. But I saw that the other day, and I'm like, and then they said bleeding when coughing. I'm like, that's because you cough so hard. Sometimes you cough so hard so often or a long period of time, you could break the capillaries in your throat and you start coughing up blood. Now, if the blood is a lot, like the capillary breakage is like reddish sputum, but if you're coughing up straight blood, yeah, then you got a different problem going on. But that was the other day. So yes, as of right now, Taiwan detects 19 warships and an aircraft carrier group, or rather, it's an aircraft carrier groups around the island. They didn't say surrounding the island; they said around the island. So let's see where this goes. But anyway, European Union citizens should stockpile enough food and other essential supplies, water as well, to sustain them for at least 72 hours in the event of a crisis. You're going to die if you have 72 hours worth of food. Whatever happens next in regards to a war, you need at least a month's worth of food and supplies. And hope that everything gets together, it gets it back together in a month. You got to pray hard that it happens. Yes, one shot, one kill, says the text. There's nothing else here other than that. The text, yeah, I guess their radar's picking up 19 warships. Maybe they can't see them because it should be during the day there, right? Yeah, it should be the daytime, so they should be able to see them. Whatever. Spring, Florida. Well, all right, so anyway, let's see. In the new guidance released Wednesday, the Commission stressed the need for Europe to shift its mindset to foster a culture of preparedness and resilience. After making fun of us for so many years, now they want to change the culture and their mindset to preparedness and resilience. The 18-page document warns Europe is facing a new reality marred with risk and uncertainty, citing Russia's full-scale war with Ukraine, rising geopolitical tension, sabotage of critical infrastructures, and electronic warfare as prominent factors, also known as cyber attacks. Brussels' initiative appears to serve as a wake-up call for members of the state to the gravity of the bloc's security situation. An ever-present threat from Russia has prompted European leaders to stress the need for war readiness, as has the Trump administration confrontational approach towards Europe, particularly on the contributions of NATO and on the war in Ukraine, which has sparked a race on the continent to shore up its own military readiness. The Commission's European Preparedness Union strategy says citizens across the continent should adapt practical measures to ensure they are ready in case of an emergency. They must have a backup plan. That's the only thing I can think of. They must have a backup plan where they're like, all right, you should be ready for 3 days. You should have 3 days worth of preparedness. So that's how long it takes them to get everything organized in 3 days. I don't know. I have no clue. All right, so let's see where it goes. This includes having enough essentials supplies to last them for a minimum of 3 days, the document says. In the case of extreme disruption, the initial period that is most critical. That's the initial period this is most critical, which is the first 3 days. I said that. But war breaking out and roads being blocked, technology and communication being taken down, it's going to push you far past 3 days. The more that you start understanding what it takes to get everything in play, communications being one of them and technology being the other, because we're so reliant on it, it's going to take you longer than 3 days to get anything established. So they should be telling their people at least a week. A week of preparedness, at the very least, not 3 days. And even a week is undershooting. I think you should do a month. A month would give everybody a nice bumper, a room to survive. Not 3 days. I'll even walk back my 7-day comment. Go for a month. I mean, obviously, if you need somewhere to start, I would start with 7 days. And then 2 weeks, then 3, then 4, and so on and so forth. That gives you nice bumper room, man, to fucking, negotiate what might happen. If they can't get this shit in line in 2 weeks, at least you got a month worth of food and water. Yes, you're right. 3 days won't get you by hurt. 3 days is nothing. Like when I started building my bug out bags, and I'm like, you should have a 3-day bug out bag. I'm like, you got to have a 5 to 7 day bug out bag, because you need to create a safety net in between the 3 and 7 days, and then you should have survival skills on top of that. So that in case you run out of water, at least you can start trapping animals and shit. Should you be in that environment where you can trap? If you're in New York City, you can throw a fucking rock and hit a rat running around, right? But if you're out in the woods, at least you know how to survive. In New York City, you could do a lot of fucking. You could man, you could do a lot of shit in New York City with the rats around here. You can eat like a king in New York City if you're able to eat rats. I wouldn't, but if you were one of those people that would eat rats, you got sky's the limit here, man. Let's see. Overall, civilians should be encouraged to foster a self-reliant and psychological resilience. So they want you to foster this as well, and the document states. Anyway, the commission also calls for the introduction of preparedness lessons in the school curriculum. No shit, including giving pupils the skills to fight disinformation and misinformation, or information manipulation, which is misinformation. Notice that this is in the document. They want to put this in the school's curriculum, but they also want to include fighting against disinformation and information manipulation, again, misinformation. The new reality requires a new level of preparedness in Europe. The president of the European Union, Ursula von der Leyen, said in a statement, our citizens, our members of state, and our businesses need the right tools to act to prevent crises and to react swiftly when a disaster hits. The European Commission guidance on Wednesday comes as individual countries have been updating their contingency plan. June last year, Germany updated its framework directive for overall defense, giving the direction on what to do should conflict break out in Europe. Unveiling the plan at the time, German Interior Minister Nancy Faeser said that they were necessary for the country to arm itself better in the face of Russian aggression. Go figure that. Now, I saw an interesting article before I head off to the Angry Truth channel. I saw an interesting article that they talked about the mother of all earthquakes hitting Asia, or Japan, and tanking their GDP. Not worried about people dying, though it did say, if I'm not mistaken, in the article, I think it said something about 30,000 people dying. 300,000 people dying. They said mega quake striking Japan could kill 300,000 people and wipe out half of its GDP. Why are they worried about the GDP when they should just be worried about the 300,000 people dying? I find this interesting that this article came just after what happened in, Myanmar, right? That earthquake, that the numbers obviously are going up. I haven't looked at to see what the death toll was. But the government projection warns that they could lose 300,000 people if they get another mega quake off the coast and a tsunami occurs. Again, this article was about 14 hours ago. I'm going to do not a video on it, but I'll talk about it in the next live stream a little in depth. But they're talking about anything over a 9.0 in the magnitude could definitely wipe out most of Japan. Or a lot of Japan. Not most of Japan, a lot of Japan. Anyway, guys. Other than that, I'm going to head over to the Angry Truth channel. Again, we're going to talk about the joblessness that's coming soon and the list of jobs that'll be disappearing between 5 to 10 years. A lot of jobs are going to be disappearing. Some of them a little overboard, But again, we're going to discuss that at any given time. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys in a couple minutes on the Angry Truth channel.